running? Why are you running?
Hi guys, I'm Katie Bird, and this is my final project, What Women Want, discovering the promise of women in Nollywood. So just for starters, today we're just going to be talking about Omoni Oboli's film, Wives on Strike. It's a Nollywood film, and we're going to also discuss the unique social impact that female filmmakers have on Nollywood. I'd first like to start with a short explanation about the video that you're watching right now. It's actually from a Nigerian film called Pretty Liars 1, and it's directed by a man named Tachidi Chikere, I believe. Forgive me if I messed up his name. And it's actually a Christian film, believe it or not, about two women that kind of outsmart men in order to achieve a sort of like a fake lifestyle in the city. Which brings me to my first point. How did Nollywood even start? How did we get to the point where we can, make memes from the video scenes that get to go viral? How does that happen? So first of all, the inclusion of women in Nigerian popular entertainment began with Yoruban traveling theater. It gained a lot of support from locals in Western Nigeria because Yoruba was the language most of the locals spoke. Women had significant roles in these productions as actresses and held many different roles in pretty traditional storylines. Eventually, these plays made their way into films, with male directors translating the live performances to video that could be watched in cinema houses. When the demand for, movies kind of slowed down, at least the way we know them, there was kind of a resurgence in technology in the mid-1980s. There was a big introduction of VCRs and other types of recording technology like camcorders. Karin Barber, the author of A History of African Popular Culture, says that the popularity of those recording devices, especially for big events like weddings or funerals, is what birthed Nollywood as an industry. The first industry peak for Nollywood arrived with the wide distribution of the Yoruban film Living in Bondage. According to the IMDb profile that I found, this film was produced in 1992, and it's another Christian film. It's also Yoruban, so a lot of people were able to relate to it due to there being no language barrier. Barber actually goes on to say that this film encases everything that makes a Nollywood style film. The elements that make up this style basically include lots of excesses, like extreme luxury, extreme illness, shock revelations of sexual occult or transgression. So usually, at least from what I've seen, it's more of love triangle, deception type relationships. There's a stark narrative opposition, so a pure line between bad and evil, and there's also a powerful emotional appeal. So people want the good guy to win, which makes a lot of sense. Omoni Oboli is a Nigerian actress, producer, script writer, and many more. And I think she's a great example of how modern Nigerian filmmakers are still holding true to the elements that make their style unique, but at the same time making the conscious decision to address issues that Nigerian women face every single day. And in doing so, I think it contributes to the growth of. Out of all of the films that Oboli has done, I think Wives on Strike is probably the most impactful because it unpacks a lot of issues that are interconnected. Bride rights and women's rights, societal norms, community organization, and to think that she had to fund a story like this, to all by herself, like it really puts it into perspective, the lack of support that's there for women who have stories. So now we have to ask the question, well, what does it mean to be a self-funded filmmaker? And what does that say about your society? How is that work appreciated? Because Nollywood films are not necessarily respected to the same degree as an independent film submitted into, the Cannes Film Festival, or even like the Toronto Film Festival, where Oboli won an award for her. Omoni Oboli, she talks a little bit about her frustrations with the industry and the money aspect of it all in an interview with Arise News, this interview clip that I'm about to show you guys.
And one of the conversations that we're having was about our counterparts outside Nigeria and how much money these people are making and how hard we work, and we're not even seeing 2% of the money that they're making. I mean, a lot has to do with the way our government is set up. That's the truth. Mrs. Elliot, my baby, my first film, it took me 4 years after film school to actually make that film, because I had to knock on so many doors. At a point, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this film any which way. So I gathered all my family funds together, and I started to make the film without enough money to finish it. When Netflix does originals, which are movies that are exclusive or series that are exclusive to Netflix, most times there's actually a window where you can show the movie in the cinema. Okay. Maybe they'll give you like a few weeks or 3 months or whatever, so you can show the movies at the cinema only. And after that, it's completely on their platform.
The second biggest concern for Nigerian filmmakers after production is directing, acting. This is something that people like Agatha Ada Ukata write about in their articles about women not having enough resources to understand that there's opportunities in Nollywood for them to write and to act and to actually give female perspective on things that matter to them instead of having someone else write the story. Let's take a quick look at the Wives on Strike trailer so you guys can actually see for yourselves what the female perspective in a film looks like with a female director, producer, and writer. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Mommy, save me.
I wish I could.
But I will die.
Help me think this thing. I beg, no kill me, I beg.
Women across the entire nation of Nigeria, the most populous black nation, are on strike.
I don't strike.
Which kind of strike with that?
You to follow and they jungle over again.
Which kind of strike with that?
Me say if I follow support, we suppose join hand, teach these men them lesson.
Women! Power! Hey! When I say who come become wife?
I take God beg you sample me well. I your wife waiting for house stay better pass me.
My wife, your wife, a big sense.
Don't touch me with this strike, not the young one.
Nobody could know. You go tell them.
Give me. Oh, try amo. I better stay your lane. Not cross here. Not cross here.
Your wife don't go start one club where they say they don't strike. They no go jangle over with their husband again.
What did you just say?
You heard exactly what I said.
Man.
And if you heard what I said, you would have heard me say we.
The day when you go hit me, come tell me say na there for work. By the time I finish with you and devil, now only you go use your mouth to talk the testimony.
Anyete, you are my husband and I love you very much, but I don't like you anymore.
When Konji hold you, he go speak Igbo by force. And I'm Abia.
If I just come out, see anything, I go do like this. I go do like this for public. This is a guy they do.
This guy, they sweet me. He dey sweet me. No be the same, this my body. Way for this house, you dey take do yeah. But since when this try start,
There are three big topics from this movie that I think have a direct correlation to their social impact, especially for Nigerian women. The first one being community organization. The women in this film are market women. They're not like, CEOs of any like huge corporations. They're regular people, and they make a conscious decision to work together, which I think is significant both in Nollywood for female directors and producers or creatives in the movie industry in general. And I think the second point is that the focus is on empowerment. There's no sinking to another level in order to achieve a goal. No one ends up breaking the strike out of weakness. They all stand together because they understand that child bride rights are something that are important enough to sacrifice for. And they find new ways to be productive people outside of their homes, especially for the senator's wife's character. And the third thing I think that's important to mention is the inclusion of women's thoughts in this film. There's never a time where a woman has to hold her tongue, so to speak, or make other people comfortable. They're plain about their misunderstandings about things and willing to learn and make themselves better in order to make life better for all women, not just themselves. Doing that, women are able to see more of themselves and less of a stereotype or a character.
One of my main goals is to make sure that I effect change in the lives of women. Make sure that economically women have more power. Politically, women have more power. Women just have a seat at the table and they have a say, especially when it comes to what happens to them and their kids. Because I always feel like once a woman is empowered, then the family is empowered, because a woman would make sure all the time that her kids are well taken care of, her family is well taken care of, everything is okay on the home front. So if she's empowered politically, economically, things will work better. Somehow or the other, I've always talked about women empowerment. I've always tried to make movies to showcase how women can be better in society.
So Oboli kind of encompasses a lot of the goals for the future of Nollywood, which is to ensure that more women get involved in the future. And not only that, they have the resources to depend on each other in order to produce those films and encourage each other to write the stories that they feel are most important. And basically to change the narrative from kind of a male's perspective and give more of an equal representation of both men and women.